Audio is correct before I step. Let me make sure my audio is correct before I step. Y'all go ahead, hit the like button. If y'all can hear me, please go hit the like button. Let me see. Let me see what it sounded like. Hey, hit the like button. If y'all can hear me, please. Oh yeah, the audio is correct. So we gonna get to stepping out this motherfucker. What's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. You feel what I mean? I figured I'd tap in with y'all tonight because we got some things that we currently need to discuss that's going on in the boxing world, man. We're gonna have some great discussions. You feel what I mean? We're gonna talk about what exactly an elite fighter is. Of course, that's all opinionated, but I'm gonna give you guys my standpoint, and I want to hear what you guys got to say. And on top of that, speaking of elite level fighters, how many has Terence Crawford faced? You feel what I'm saying? This is all stirred up from an interview, the Goats podcast, I believe, that had Shaq, Tom Brady, Dana White, along with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. If I was missing somebody, please let me know. Canelo Alvarez got to talking, and he said that, Canelo Alvarez is a good fighter, but just name me one elite guy that he has, fought. You see what I'm saying? So we definitely gonna have that conversation, man. There's people that's agreeing with Canelo Alvarez. There's people that's not agreeing with Canelo Alvarez. So we're gonna have that discussion, man. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's gonna be a difference of an opinion in here, but that's the point of having a good conversation. If we agree all the time, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing, that type shit is boring. You feel what I'm saying? So we're gonna have a genuine, honest conversation, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the comments so far. Shout out to the boy Forever Dedicated. He said, Mark, how you felt after the Norman interview? Like, what was going on in your head mentally because you won? Well, I don't really think it was necessarily a debate. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit here and say that I won. I'm not going to sit here and say that I lost. You know, Brian Norman Sr. felt like I was saying something that he felt like was inaccurate. And he provided his opinions. Some things I felt like made sense, other things didn't make as much sense to me. To be honest with you, especially with like the information that I've gathered, especially since the interview, a lot of things definitely didn't add up. You know what I mean? But like I said, he's entitled to have his opinion on the topic, and I'm entitled to have mine. It is what it is. I was just grateful that he had the heart to come on the channel and actually discuss, because there's a lot of people that run from Mazuma TV. You feel what I'm saying? So salute to Brian Norman Sr. And he's welcome to come on the channel anytime, especially when Brian Norman got a new fight coming up. I'm not gonna sit here and dwell on him and John Ennis not fighting. We approached that topic when it was relevant, but the reality is, John Ennis is at 154 pounds now. Brian Norman is still campaigning at 147, looking to. I just saw his manager talk about they want to wait and see who wins between Barrios and Pacquiao, because they would like to unify with the winner. You know what I mean? So now they belt chasing. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing that we could really do. They both John Ennis decided not to wait. Brian Norman decided not to wait and face Jen Sasaki. So we just gonna have to move on from it. And if that fight resurfaces when Brian Norman makes his 154 debut, then so be it. But for now, I think we need to discuss what's currently relevant, and that's what Brian Norman Jr. has, on his plate at 147, and what John Ennis has on his plate making his debut at 154. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's coming through and showing love. Let me see who else is in the building. Lorenzo, Coffee Plant. So far, we got Forever Dedicated, Simba Boxing. Simba said they try to catch you sleepy on the live, so I'll debate you, bro. You still won. Like I said, I didn't really consider it a debate. You know what I'm saying? I was just letting him talk. I seen little statements that didn't make sense. I asked him about it. He answered it to the best of his ability, and we just moved on. So, you know what I mean? I have fried niggas in debates, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like that was a debate. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to the boy Coffee Plant. He said Mark always got the best shirts. Shout out to Title for coming through and sending that package over to Pivot Boxing Academy. You know what I'm saying? This Jack Dempsey shirt. You know what I mean? With the Pittsburgh Pirates type lettering. You feel what I'm saying? I think that's the Pittsburgh Pirates lettering. But regardless, shout out to Title Boxing for that. Always showing love. Lorenzo showing love from out in Tokyo. What up? Pagat Petit. Spencer's not elite. We're gonna have that conversation, bro. I didn't even provide my opinion yet, brother. I'm just letting a few people get in here before we cook. You feel what I mean? J Cash, what up? J Cash said double tap your screen like the live. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and pin that. That's a beautiful, beautiful comment right there. You see what I'm saying? And yesterday was the record. Yesterday was the record for the highest amount of super chats ever received on the channel. So shout out to everybody that was coming through and contributing in that way. You know what I'm saying? But YouTube be taking like 30-40% of these super chats, man. So if y'all gonna contribute to the channel, preferably, I would like to see, some cash apps in the building. You feel what I mean? But I'm grateful regardless. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful regardless. Yeah, the super chats was definitely flooded. I see T student said, I said salam from Israel. Why you said salam from Israel and then say I said salam from Israel like you trying to like what you mean? Like you trying to double up, like you trying to force me to acknowledge you or something, brother? What was the point of saying that? I said salam from Israel. Don't y'all motherfuckers got something bigger going on? Don't y'all niggas got some situation? Oh, all right. We'll get you the fuck up out of here then. Pack him the fuck up. Y'all got bigger shit to worry about in Israel right now. Besides being on my dick. Pack him the fuck up. Fucking weirdo. Mako. Who's Mako? Are you new? What you got, like India Love as your pick? Who is that? Who's that on your pick? I look like India Love. Yeah, tiny headed there. Pack him the fuck up. Fuck out of here. You need to be looking at the sky and make sure you don't see no bright lights coming towards you. That's what the fuck you need to worry about. Worry about the wrong shit. Hate us, but always trying to be like us. Who you referring to, Mako? I don't know who you're referring to. I don't know if you're referring to me or what. If you was talking to me, Mako, I mean, I won't know because you got packed up. But if you was talking to me, your mom's a thought. But if you wasn't talking to me, your mom not a thought. You know what I mean? But if you were attacking me, Mako, your mother is a cold thought. And she specializes in eating pipe when you sleep. What you think? How you think you got here? You know what I'm saying? How you think you got here? I mean, you lucky your mom was broke because if she wasn't, she probably would have scraped you the fuck up out her system. If you know what I mean. But anyways, let's have these discussions, y'all. Let's have these discussions. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about exactly what an elite level fighter is. So what I want y'all to do, man, y'all need to tell me what an elite level fighter is. Because we had Najee from Cigar Talk ask a question that's relevant. You know what I mean? Like he asked a question that was relevant, and that is, what is an elite fighter? What do y'all consider an elite level fighter, man? Because there was a lot of conversations back and forth as to whether elite Earl Spence was elite or not. We got Terence Crawford running around saying that, Spence ain't no Hall of Famer and that he really didn't accomplish anything. You know what I'm saying? And you got others that believe that Earl Spence was genuinely elite and he's going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done, right? So before we continue to have this conversation, we need to actually figure out what exactly an elite level fighter is. I have my definition, and I'm not saying who is elite. What makes a fighter elite? What do they have to have in order for them to be an elite level fighter. You see what I mean? And I asked a few people, you know what I mean, guys that I trained, you know, who actually got experience in boxing. And I came up with in my opinion, a solid answer. I want to know exactly what y'all think. This nigga said hustle, loyalty, and respect. Can somebody pack him up, please? Niggas is acting like children, cuz. Say that shit for your say that shit for your daddy who don't love you, cuz. Y'all niggas act like child. I can tell y'all niggas was class clowns, but y'all was not funny. Niggas hated every time you acted up in class. Niggas hated you. And you always smelled bad. It's always the dirty niggas that want to be funny all the time, nigga. Laugh at your hygiene and go wash your ass, little nigga. They stand out from the pack coming up and actually get it done. Shout out to Mexican 89 Pugilist. That's a good response right there. Caveman says beat a lot of great and good fighters. That's another great response. Y'all on to something. Y'all definitely on to something. I want to hear a few more though. We got 22 people in the building with 16 likes. Let's get it up. Well, shit, damn, man. Get your ass, take your ass to sleep. Mind y'all, my girl live with me, right? And she'll go on my live and talk shit like she not in the next room with me. Like, she be trolling. If you're the number one guy in your division, you are an elite fighter, in my opinion. Boxing Guru 215 says, elite. Yeah, pack him up, please. Elite to me is Hall of Fame worthy. I agree with you, boxing Guru 215, but I'm asking a specific question. No disrespect, because you gave a great answer. I'm saying, what do you consider elite? What does a fighter have to do in boxing to be considered an elite level fighter? I like Caveman's response. I like Mexican 89 Pugilist response. And Lorenzo gave a great response as well. If you're the number one guy in your division, you are an elite fighter. You would have to be, right? If the general consensus is that you're the number one guy in your division, unless that division is weak as fuck, you are an elite level fighter. J Cash says number one in the division in the 4-belt era. I'd say be able to obtain at least 2 out of the 4 major belts, or even be a dominant champion in multiple divisions. That's a great, great response. So we all got an idea of what an elite level fighter is. And you know, my chat is knowledgeable, man. We got a lot of hardcore boxing fans in here, you know what I mean, that actually study the sport. There's some people in the chat that actually compete. You know what I'm saying? I'm a former competitor. You know what I'm saying? I'm a former fighter, you know, now a trainer. The Philly weather has been kicking my ass, so has been kicking the heat has been absolutely whooping Philly's ass. So, you know, I haven't been in the gym due to like the severe, you know, heat warnings and shit like that. But, you know, I'm an active trainer. I got one of the best amateur stables in the city, in my opinion. I think a lot of people will be inclined to agree with me, especially when they see my stable of guys. So there's a lot of knowledge in here, right? And I wrote down, and I also use this as a comment on Najee's IG post. And this is what I interpret to be an elite fighter. You see what I'm saying? Jermaine said you got to be able to fight the man and win. You have to have the heart, or you got to have the great or good fight IQ. Great, absolutely. That's another great comment. We got some good shit. We definitely cooking up. Pedro, what's going on, brother? You need to stop saying I love you though. I ain't with all that shit, bro. I don't know you to be. You say it too much. It's almost like you. Yeah, I mean you fantasizing or something, brother. We not with that Lil Nas X shit. You gotta calm down a little bit. Yeah, I mean, go 787. You haven't missed anything, brother. We about to get into the discussion on what an elite level fighter is. I was taking some opinions, you know what I'm saying? And before I go, you know what I mean, Pedro, I ain't with that Caitlyn Jenner shit. You got pipe down a little bit. You gotta be humble. I know you don't understand English or nothing like that, but tú hablando como un pato. Hablando como un pato. ¿Eres pato? Dime. Dime si tú eres un pato. Shit. But anyways, it's a little Spanish for y'all. I'm not that fluent, but y'all get what I'm saying. Adam Ali, who gay? Bro, look like that one dude could knock you out with one punch. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, only I can say that. What you mean? Oh yeah, yeah. She's definitely the only one that can say that. Women can only say that. Ain't no man telling me that. Especially if you don't know me. Oh, he not talking to me? Oh, all right. Stop calling me Maz, nigga. I don't know who Maz is. Nigga, spell the whole name out. Fuck wrong with you, Pedro? Fuck out of here. But here's my definition, y'all. G tatted up. I can't see your comments, brother. Philly in the building. I'm sorry. It's a few comments that got me a little bit distracted. Shout out to G tatted up. 215. That's a Philly brother. Sound like that's a Philly brother right there. Sound like that's a Philly brother right there, man. We got some Philly motherfuckers in the building. What up? Northside 215. What up? Badlands. What up? Uptown. What up? The bottom. What up? My Southwest niggas. What up? Northeast niggas. What up? You know what I mean? What up? South Philly, all that. What? Sorry, bro. You make me sad. Shut your gay ass up. I'm about to pack you for real, for real. Yo, Pedro, you got any last words? Pedro, you got any last words? English or Spanish? You got any last words? Miles, can you teach me for streaming? Yeah, I can teach you. First thing I'm gonna teach you is how I block somebody. Get him the fuck up out of here. I UPS that nigga. FedEx, Express, LGD, LGBTQ HDTV, LGBTQ HDMI. Yeah, fuck out of here, nigga. Plus. Niggas put the plus sign now. Like, what you mean plus? Nigga, you more than one of them? Anyways, hold on. I'm trying to know. Hold on. Before we get demonetized, I fuck with the LGBT HDMI community. You're don't be doing that. YouTube, don't be doing that. Don't do that. Don't take my money from me, cuz. We've been chilling lately. Don't be doing it. I want to keep them cash shines green on my motherfucking videos. Don't be fucking with my money, man. Anyways, yeah, he definitely got Amazon Prime. But anyways, let's not get too caught up in the fuckery. Let's actually discuss what my opinion is. Now just lie. Um, damn, you lucky you got wrench. If who's gonna take the honors of packing my girl? Pause. That's wow. Ain't nobody packing my girl except me. What I'm saying is, can somebody block her after I take her wrench away? I promise I will not be mad at you. Cause she out here exposing me. You might as well just go ahead and see what you talking about. Millennia, explain yourself. My girl's name is Millennia, by the way. Explain to the people what I'm lying about. But this is my statement on what an elite level fighter is. An elite level fighter, in my opinion, is a fighter who has either won multiple world titles, especially in different divisions, defeated other world champs or top contenders, and an advanced level of skills that stand out from their peers, or a combination of all of them. You see what I mean? Because there are fighters in boxing today who have accomplished each example that I set forth. Terence Crawford, for example, he fits this description. He has won more. He's won multiple world titles, especially in different divisions. That's four. Defeated other world champs and top contenders. Terence Crawford has done that. Hence why he's been undisputed in two different weight classes and an advanced set of skills that stand out from their peers. We're not about to sit here and act like Terence Crawford's skills ain't top tier. Like we not about to do that. You see what I'm saying? So Terence Crawford fits the description of that, and because of that altogether, he is an elite level fighter, in my opinion. You better have your fundamentals on point when you get hurt. Also, I think overcoming adversity is what helps fighters. Is what makes fighters elite as well, because being able to recover or make that adjustment, uh, being able to survive while hurt, that's a skill. Because there's people that get hurt and you know what I'm saying. They don't know how to handle it. Like I've seen people get hurt and they not even looking to clinch. You know what I'm saying? They all over the place. Like their body language is fucked up. Like they don't know how to weather the storm. You know what I'm saying? And I genuinely feel like weathering the storm is a skill. I can't take a person seriously if they said Bud not elite. Well, we're not talking about Bud not being elite. It was what Canelo said that made people believe that he was suggesting that Earl Spence is not elite. Now, if you asking me personally, Earl Spence is elite. And not only is he elite, but in my opinion, he's a Hall of Famer. Just my personal opinion. The fact that he was one belt away from becoming undisputed in in a tough welterweight division. You gotta look at that as impressive, bro. Like I'm not even about to sit here and lie to you. Like Earl Spence defeated everybody he needed to defeat that was champion, except Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So he said, "Can I give 5 minutes?" Yeah, yeah, sure. Let me actually send that to you via sound. Let me send that. I'm gonna send that to your text, brother. Sent that right to you. Wait, 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 wait. What's going on? That car crash messed him up. Yeah, that was what I was pretty much conflicted with, to be honest with you. Like y'all sitting here talking about how Earl Spence, the car accident affected him. He wasn't the same after the car accident. When he came back off of the car accident, he went on to defeat solid guys. He came back and defeated Danny Garcia, two division world champion, with one of the best resumes. Out of all the active fighters that are in boxing today, Danny Garcia has one of the best resumes. And I just seen him posted on Instagram today. He got one of the best resumes in boxing today. Out of active fighters that are currently in boxing, there's not many people who got a resume like Danny right now. And I know a majority of his good wins was at 140, but regardless, he was able to get world titles in both divisions. You feel what I mean? And that's not an easy task. Trust me. Even with good matchmaking, that's not an easy task. And like until the Landy Lara fight, I never seen him, go out like no sucker. I actually seen him in, fights where he might have lost clearly, like with Earl Spencer shit like that. But I've also seen him fights. I also seen him in fights that he may have possibly won, like the Sean Porter one. You feel what I'm saying? You see, Judge, why is something's coming up to the panel? Yo, Mill, what's going on, brother?
What's good? I had somebody in my comments told me that I need to go live with a collar shirt on and a background.
What?
No, I said I just had somebody in my comments telling me that when I go live, I should go live with a collar shirt and like a whole like background layout.
For what?
I don't know to turn it up a notch, but the reality is, bro, you gonna get this polo tee and, and this big beard.
I would
What's up
fucking
with
wear
you?
a collar shirt for what? What the fuck the
Bro,
collar
I
shirt gonna
don't
do?
listen. Don't get me started, yo. Everybody
Oh
want to
man,
look like they on ESPN. Nah,
nah,
go ahead. Talk to
not
me
at
though.
all. Nah, so we just getting into the conversation now. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that interview that just happened with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford when they were sitting in the room with Tom Brady, Shaq, and Dana White. You know, Canelo Alvarez said that like Terence Crawford, a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, but just name me one elite fighter that I think he either said beat or fought. But regardless, that's the statement that he made. Terence Crawford attempted to defend himself, mentioning Victor Postal and Ricky Burns. A lot of people, have had a lot to say as a result of that. And I've seen that Nazi from Cigar Talk had brought up a good question. You know what I mean? A great question that could definitely create some great conversation as well. And he's asking, yo, like, what do y'all consider an elite level fighter? Because it seems like people got different opinions. You got one side that's saying that Earl Spence wasn't an elite level fighter, which is crazy to me, in my opinion. Now you got other people that believe Earl Spence was an elite level fighter. So Najee provided his opinion on what he believes an elite level fighter is. I provided my opinion as well in the comment section, but I brought it up for the people to hear. And I said an elite level fighter, in my opinion, is a fighter who has either won multiple world titles, especially in different divisions, defeated other world champions or top contenders, and an advanced level of skills that stand out from their peers, or all of the above. You see what I'm saying? So that's my take
Mm,
on what an elite level fighter is. And I said that Terence Crawford matches the description of somebody who fits that checks all of the boxes. Hence why I look at him as an elite level fighter. You see what I'm saying? So, since I brought all of that up, what do you feel is an elite level fighter?
That's a loaded question, and I feel like that's going to be opinion based and also
It is. It's kind of like a pound for pound list. So, it's opinionated. It just
yeah,
depends on what
it's
you what
like
you like, what you prefer.
yeah. Everybody's going to have individual criterias.
Right.
An elite level fighter for me is an A level fighter, and I don't think that a lot of guys are A level,
Mm.
right? So when I think of elite, I don't even think Boots is an elite level fighter yet.
Unproven. He hasn't proven enough yet. I think
Yeah,
he
I
has the
think
potential to be, but
yeah.
he needs to do a little more.
Now I think Boots is the best fighter in the world, but
He got to
you
show it.
have to prove it. Yeah, you
Exactly.
have to you have to get the names in order, and that's the hard thing about boxing is that hey yo check this out. This is for everybody in the chat, right? We know who the best team is in football and basketball every year. NHL, MLB. We know who the best team is because everybody has to play everybody.
Facts.
No excuses, right? No, oh, you don't, oh man, you're a horrible
The best, the
fighter.
best versus the best just played each
You
other in the
don't,
NBA Finals.
you don't sell enough tickets. Oh man, get the fuck out of here. You want payday. Nah, you gotta play like no, the Eagles gotta pay to play the Chiefs. No way around it. No way around it. You gotta play him. Okay. And so it's easy for us to determine legacy in these other sports because they played the bit. You got four rings, you got six. Now, if you didn't play against the same competition, then that's or the same era or the same rules, that's one thing.
Right.
But every year you played against everybody and you played against the best. Cool. Boxing is a little different. And so if you want to say that Terence Crawford didn't fight an elite level fighter, beat an elite level fighter, neither did Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez only fought one. Like, if we want to have that conversation, a A-level fighter at the time that he fought them, because you can fight fucking Cassius Clay when he's 40 years old, and he was like, "Oh, well, I fought Cassius Clay."
No, you fought a shell of an elite fighter. You didn't fight the elite fighter at the time he was elite.
So it's like Floyd was at his best when you fought him. Triple G, what makes Triple G better than Errol Spence?
Nothing. I always said
Like,
that Triple G's resume was kind of shaky.
for somebody, tell me what makes Triple G better than Errol Spence. To me, there's no difference. Miguel Cotto was 35 years old. Austin Trout wasn't an elite level fighter. Austin Trout was a solid fighter, undefeated contender on his way up, but he wasn't no elite level fighter.
Yeah, he
And
beat he
so,
beat Miguel Cotto coming off of a loss, and Cotto was already on the decline when he got that dub. To be real with you,
yeah, true. So it's like, did Canelo beat better names than Terence Crawford? Yes. Do I think his resume is better than Terence Crawford? Yes. But Canelo's resume is a house of cards as well because of the context of when you fought people, circumstances, etc. Like, you fought Sergey Kovalov on a short
off
turnaround.
yeah, and off a crazy ass war with Anthony Yard.
Yeah, on a short turnaround. Like, he literally, it was like 2 months later.
Hmm.
But all of a sudden, like, you just come, like, no, bro. Like, did it surprise me that Terence Crawford named Ricky Burns a post style? Yeah, because
Yeah,
I feel like you had better guys
I
to
had to do
name.
the Googles on Ricky Burns though. That's a 3 division world champion.
True, but like, I don't consider Ricky Burns an elite level fighter.
Yeah. But I
He
think
like
Bud, like when you really when you listen to Bud and when he talks, he really puts a lot of stock into like multi-division champions. Like that was the main reason why he was saying that Earl Spence wasn't a Hall of Famer. He's like, oh, he's only been champion in one division.
yeah,
I done did this in however many divisions. You know what I'm saying? But there's been multiple fighters that have shown to be great just staying in one weight class.
and that's the problem. A lot of times, dudes don't push back on him because the reality is the interviews that dudes like Crawford does, dudes like Canelo does, they're not with boxing people because boxing people is gonna call you on that. So Marvin Hagler is a Hall of Famer.
He's an
He couldn't say
all-time
that.
great.
If you call him on that, he'll get stuck.
And one of Crawford's best wins was somebody who just stood in one weight class, Sean Porter.
Terence Crawford has a bunch of solid wins, but Terence Crawford doesn't have the resume of how people perceive him to be. And a lot of times that's just opportunity. Some
Yeah, I was
dudes
gonna
get
say I think he
opportunities
fell
because
victim
they're
to like the
beautiful.
politics for a while.
Yeah. I
You know what I
mean,
mean?
he was complicit in those politics.
Complicit.
He
What do you mean?
resigned.
Hmm.
It's the equivalent of, Mark, we going out, right? And we all know the hose is at this one spot, right? But then you go to the other spot and then, like, yo, where the hose at? You knew where the hose was, my nigga. You, you knew where they were. You chose to go to the other. You chose to go to the weak spot. So I don't want to hear that shit, yo.
This nigga Jamil trying to get me cursed out. My girl in the chat. No, but no,
No,
I'm
it's not
fucking
like,
no. That's
yeah,
your
it's
example. It's cool. I ain't say that. That's
yeah.
your example. But nah, for real though, that's a great point. You know what I'm saying? But do you feel like because I listened to Terence Crawford and what his perspective was on staying with top ranking number like that. He was pretty much saying how he was lied to, He was
Yeah.
guaranteed, like he was promised certain things, and that's what really enticed him to stick around because it was pretty much like, yeah, like Bob was, being Bob, yeah, I can get you the Pacquiao fight, blah blah blah. So he like, oh shit, you give me the Pacquiao fight, bet. So I think that's what enticed him to re-sign,
Mm.
and then come to find out, it never really worked out how he thought it was going to. I
His
think he was
biggest
led
problem
on.
is, yeah, he viewed PBC as the ops. That's
Mm,
his biggest problem. He had that point of view, and that's your fault. So Bob lied to you. You believed him on you, and you knew what you had to do to get the fights that you wanted.
yeah,
To me, it's more great when you win. I mean, of course, Marlon. I like dudes that move up and challenge themselves, but I feel like motherfuckers be picking and choosing in that regards. But to me, Bud has a solid resume. He doesn't have an all time great resume. When people talk about him like, oh, he's better than Floyd, he's better than Ray Leonard, he's not. And even with a Canelo Alvarez win, I think it's all time great shit. But when people go back and peel your shit back, Ray Leonard, Ray Leonard beat 3 Hall of Famers before he was Boots' age. He beat 3 Hall of Famers before he was Dav's age. Ray Leonard was a Hall of Famer at 25, y'all.
that's fucking insane, bro. Then I was
Ray
looking at
Leonard,
I was looking at Wilfred Benitez shit. I was like, bro, these motherfuckers was different, bro. Like super different. Like
Wilfredo Benitez has a record that will never be broken.
never. And the way that and as fast as he won won titles in three different divisions, bro. Like
It was before he was 30, right?
way before he was 30. I
Wait,
be
no.
actually,
It was like 23.
yeah, bro. He was like
He was like a three
young,
division champion at 23
young.
years old, right?
Yeah, yeah. Wilfred was different, bro.
Yeah, the
At the
one
age
bad
of
thing about
22 years old.
yeah.
Fucking insane.
So
It's different, bro.
it's like comparing and it's hard because boxing is different now, but comparing yourself to those guys, it's like, yeah, but you accomplished some great things. You accomplished undisputed. The second undisputed, you didn't do no heavy lifting. Respectfully. Respectfully, you stayed on that side while the dude gathered all the Infinity Stones, and then you beat his ass. And while it was work smarter, not harder, you kind of lose something in the not knocking off each champion.
Right.
You beat Jeff Horn.
Off a controversial win too.
Yeah. So to me, Bud Gamboa, Spence, great wins.
Were they
Or not
elite
great.
though?
Really, really, really good wins. You could say Gamboa was elite.
That's what I was gonna say. Dan
You
Bo,
could say
yeah, at that
Gamboa was elite.
time, Gamboa was on some shit
That
at
was
that
that would have
time.
been the first name that I said. Yuriorkis Gamboa. Because at
That's
that
that's what
time,
I that's what I was thinking. Like I was like, it's like Victor Poster. I'm like, what about Gamboa? Like that's what really put you on the scene and got you popping.
so I don't. I only got like 5 or 6 A-level fighters in boxing, like currently.
Mm,
But if we are going to use the regular definition of elite, Terence Crawford beat 2 elite fighters for sure.
facts.
For
I
sure.
agree. So Arrow and Gamboa.
Thriller and Gamboa.
That's exactly what I said.
It's
We
not
see
my
eye to eye
fault
on
that I
that.
fought Gamboa at a weight class that I was the naturally bigger man. It's not my fault. He was competing in it. Fuck it.
Right, and he was doing his thing while he was there anyway. So what's the problem? Um, Eric Gomez says Gamboa was not elite. He was good. You must have forgot who Gamboa was at that time. Gamboa was
Wait,
stepping on
is
shit.
Gamboa a gold medalist?
Yeah, and I remember he had a solid gold medal. He got it back. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so who said that he wasn't elite?
Somebody by the name of Eric Gomez.
So Eric Gomez. You got a dude that how many divisions was Gamboa? 2 or 3?
believe it was 3. I think it was 26 to 35. Let me see.
20, remember, they don't have WBA on what's the name no more either.
Yeah, that's why I don't even look. I don't even look in them. Nah.
Boxer.
Yeah, I don't look. I don't look for that. But
How the fuck
I know,
don't you have the oldest sanctioning body records? That's crazy.
he was definitely unified at featherweight. So he had the WBA and the IBF at featherweight. Let me see. Let me see what the people saying. Oh, they said Gamboa got 2 weight classes. He got 26 and 30. He was champ at 26 and 30. Regardless, he was definitely elite.
Yeah, so yeah, I would have led with him because Canelo got the best of that exchange, and he was like, "Who? Who's that guy?" He was like, "Who?"
He said a 40-year-old fighter from his gym beat Postal up in sparring. I want to know
No, he
who
said
that
beat Ricky
40-year-old
Burns.
was.
He
Huh?
beat Ricky Burns. He was talking about Ricky Burns. He didn't know who the post star was, bro. He had no idea. Who who the fuck is that guy? That was the equivalent of that. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that guy, man? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a bad joint, bro.
Yeah, but
He shouldn't have did that. Shit.
the the real good wins that Canelo had, like real good, Triple G, Eroslandi Lara, Kodo, um, hmm, Austin Trout was solid. Not really good though, but real solid win. Uh,
How about Jacobs?
that's a solid win. I never
Solid.
really saw much of Jacobs.
Caleb Plant?
Solid. Remember when we talked about the greatest win ever?
Yeah.
Greatest win ever is Roberto Duran over Ray Leonard, and then probably followed by Roy Jones Jr. over James Toney. I'm trying to think. I don't think the Ray Leonard, what's the name, Joe, could be argued though. Roberto Duran over Ray Leonard, moving up from 35 to 47. It wasn't all in one clean sweep, but you had a naturally smaller man. Ray Leonard, no car crashes, no losses, no controversial wins at that time. Was a
Hmm.
fucking monster and younger, and you beat him decisively. So,
Yeah, that's definitely a great one. That's golden shit right there. For sure.
Muhammad Ali over George Foreman.
Yeah, that was the one that was the first one that popped in my head.
That's
Ali
up there.
Foreman.
I'm a rate Ray Leonard a little bit higher because to me he's a much better fighter than Foreman. Not as dangerous, but just a better fighter. He's just
Yeah, definitely a better fighter. Let me see. Did Gamboa only win title? He only won world title at 126.
yeah. To my
I thought
knowledge, he didn't stay at 30 that long. He stayed at 30 for like 2, 3 fights.
I swear he had some in that 30. All right, whatever.
Now remember he was like I think he was like beefing with Bob over the Mikey shit.
Man, he lucky he ain't fight Mikey. Let me just say that. I think Mikey would have wiped him. 126, 130. Mikey was a fucking monster, bro. But
I
Gamboa
don't
was
know.
nice too.
I
I'm gonna
don't know,
say
man.
because Gamboa had speed, he had power and shit like that, but he was too reckless defensively. Like Mikey had the fundamentals, I think Mikey would have beat him because he more
Could
responsible.
have. Yo,
And Mikey could fucking crack at 26 and 30, bro. Mikey ain't really start losing his power till he got up to 40. Cause at 35, he was still slumping shit and
I'm gonna
dropping
say this.
niggas.
I'm gonna say this to you though. Terence Crawford fans have revisionist history. He was getting cooked in the first 4 rounds. Yo.
That speed was fucking Bud up. Yeah. That speed was fucking Bud up. You can tell Bud had to really
Them,
watch him,
them,
bro,
them
cause
first 4 rounds, it was looking like, oh shit.
yeah. But you
Yeah,
know,
so I,
Gamboa, his hands always down, and he never was
true,
able to take like the best shot. So that shit was bound to happen.
true.
We ain't.
That
This
was a
nigga
good
said,
fight.
"Shout out Trump. He wildin'. Pack him up. Definitely pack him up." But yeah, so I guess the answer to the question, yes, Bud has beat elite fighters. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, obviously Canelo thinks otherwise, and maybe he's just trying to degrade Bud resume because he has more significant wins, I guess you would say. But regardless, I think he did wrong for that. But you know what was it's like of course we all believe Earl Spence was an elite level fighter, right? Cool. But it's like Crawford kind of shot himself in the foot when he was running around saying that, Spence ain't no Hall of Famer, and it was like degrading all of his accomplishments. So it's like we gonna believe what we gonna believe, regardless of what Bud says. But then people could always refer to, oh, how was Errol Spence an elite fighter when Bud said he wasn't even a Hall of Famer? It's like that was like one of your most notable wins, if not the most notable win in your career. And you going out of your way to, you know, criticize that guy. You should be bigging him up, if anything, because you beating him makes you look good.
I think that was his way of shitting on Spence on the way out.
Mm,
I think that it like it's his way of his like last victory lap. Oh, that nigga wasn't even that good. But the reality is, nah, I'm gonna big him up. I'm gonna be talking about, oh man, he was incredible. Oh man, it was so tough. I know I made it look easy, but it was tough. Yeah.
facts. But I seen Floyd do the same shit with Canelo. Man, that motherfucker easy, man. Man, listen, man, that motherfucker easy. I'm like, bro, as much as the way that Canelo was able to bounce back off of that John and become like the top guy in the sport, you should be bigging up that win. For real, for real. But
Wait, let me tell you something. You don't know boxing the way that I know boxing. Uh Canelo, he was a he
hell
was a
of a fight.
strong, hungry lion. Um, it was easy.
Yo, you
It was
peeping how
easy.
these you peeping how these dudes all be trying to sound like Floyd now. Floyd influenced that whole generation, bro. I swear to God, they be taking
Oh, he's
little.
the father of this generation.
I swear, bro.
And that's why
Oh,
boxing fucked up.
bro, I'm trying to tell you, they still like certain words from him. He's a hell of a fighter. Like I said before. Like, bro, shit, the A-level fighter. Floyd was the one who started saying all that shit. Oh, he's an A-level fighter. He a C-level fighter. I'm an A-level fighter. The A side, B side shit. I feel like Floyd influenced that shit too. That's all you hear now.
Yo, you know how A side, B side got created, though?
Was it? I don't know. Was it? It wasn't Pac Floyd, right?
Nah. The mob, you know the mob used to fix fights back in the day, right?
Facts.
And
Yeah.
so the mob used to fix fights and they can control that. They can control, who performed and who didn't through fear. But the one thing that they couldn't control is the public betting on the fights. So if I know the fights is fixed, fuck, like, what the fuck am I going to spend my money for? The mob can't control where you spend your money. And so the mob started losing a whole bunch of bread because people didn't believe that the fights was fair, which they weren't. So what they ended up doing is, shit, how can we damn near fix the fights without fixing the fights? A side, B side. The guy that
Mm.
we backing, the ring is going to be, the gloves is going to be to his preference. Everything. We want to stack the deck.
Mm.
So
Learn something new every day. That's good to know. They stole front runner too. Yeah, I remember Floyd used to say that. Yeah, you
you
could
said that
tell.
about Zab, right?
Huh?
You should say that about Zab, right?
Yeah, I think he even called Zab like a 4 round fighter and shit like that. Like he used to say, look, Floyd used to talk crazy, bro. And I was listening to that Jay Prince interview that with Andre Ward, and Jay Prince was saying like, yo, that pretty boy Floyd shit, that wasn't a character. That was really how Floyd was. Like Floyd was really like that. Like he said that he used to get in trouble with them dudes out in Vegas and shit. Like when Floyd moved out to Vegas, he was having
Mm.
problems with everybody over there. And he had to like tell like them street dudes over there to like calm down and shit because Floyd was tripping. And then I forgot who was in the car with them. They said that they was in the car. Jay Prince said he was in the car with Floyd and somebody else, and that dude was a fighter. I forgot who it was. And Floyd was like, "Yeah, you already know, he in that division. Once I go up there, you know what I mean, I'm fucking niggas up." Like, I started tripping. Like Floyd used to be wilding, bro. But you know what I
Yo,
mean?
let's go to Floyd's because I saw Canelo said that Crawford was better than Floyd, and the only reason why he's saying that because he feel like he got an opportunity to beat Crawford. But let me just say, in no way, shape, or form is Terence Crawford better than Floyd.
No, I don't think so neither. I hear people say it all the time, especially after the Earl Spence win. Bro, you can't, bro. You heard that shit all over
But
the
these the
place,
same
bro.
dudes that told you for the 5 years that Earl Spence wasn't that good.
Yeah, I remember that too. I was there for that whole shit, bro.
So nah.
The whole thing.
Yo, Floyd's most underrated win.
Floyd most underrated win.
Yeah. When I say it to you, you can be like, damn, you got me.
Let me hear it.
Chavez.
Chavez. Mm.
First world title. Chavez was like what 38-1. The only loss was
I
to
thought it was Hernandez.
oh my bad. Gennaro Hernandez.
Gennaro. Yeah.
Gennaro Hernandez. I was thinking about I don't know why I was thinking about Jesus
He fought.
Chavez.
I think he did fight him. I think.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
Gennaro
He got his
Hernandez.
first world title off of Gennaro Hernandez.
Gennaro Hernandez, 38
Floyd
and
said he used to
1.
have posters of him on his wall. Like that was his guy. Like he used to look up to him.
Yo, and salute to Gennaro Hernandez because he did something that fighters won't do. Like Bud's not putting nobody over.
He gave a young dude the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fact.
He didn't have to.
He
He
could have
38
easily
fucking
avoided
1.
Floyd. He could have avoided Floyd for sure. And a lot of people
30.
was avoiding Floyd when he was coming up. When he was at
Yep.
130, bro, they ain't Prince not see him. Ain't none of them want to rumble him, bro. I remember he used to call him out after every fight. They wouldn't even look his way.
Gave the dude a shot, and the rest is history. But he didn't have to.
He said Mark Sells Hollywood said chop chop too. That was a good fucking win. Chop
That was a
chop
good
rocked
one.
this shit too.
But what Floyd had? Gennaro Hernandez, uh, Corrales, Ricky Hatton, Canelo,
Ricky Hatton was a good one. They sleep on that one too. They
Cotto, Manny,
Mike Donna. Um,
Zab. Oh, Oscar. Shit. Dang.
yeah, Floyd been around, bro. That resume crazy. Super crazy, bro.
No, the Miss Gennaro was a great win. For that to be a fucking first world title,
Yeah. Rest in peace to Gennaro, though. Sure.
rest in peace to Gennaro for being for understanding the importance of giving a young dude his crack. That's getting lost, right? Like too many dudes remember. Too many dudes' memory only goes back to when they was on top. They forget when they was the young dude starving for an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Damn, Gennaro has some good wins on his resume too. Okay.
So they're only lost to young killers.
I mean, he only lost to De La Hoya and Floyd. De La Hoya was a fucking monster at 35. That's when De La Hoya was 18-0. He beat
But
Azuma Nelson. He beat Jorge Paez.
he put the young kids over.
Yeah, that's dope, bro.
Gave him an
He never
opportunity
he
to
never
prove
fought again
himself.
after Floyd though. I didn't know that. He
Mm.
didn't fight again after Floyd.
Oh,
Mm,
gave him an opportunity to prove themselves.
I respect that. Yeah, he beat Azuma Nelson. That's fire. Azuma Nelson was a beast. Well, yeah. Let me see what the chat talking about. I haven't even tuned in with the chat or like that. Shout out to the nation. What they saying? Go 787 say yo Mazuma. Who you think would have won? David Tua or Mike? That's a good fucking fight. Probably they both and badly hurt. They they gonna leave that bitch damaged for sure. Both of them. But I'm gonna say Mike. Like David Tua probably was he had a better chin. He was strong. He was strong like a motherfucker. I think he was more durable than Mike. I think he could take more of an ass whooping than Mike. But if we talking about prime Mike, bro, the hand speed, the combinations, the explosiveness, I don't know if Tua would have been able to keep up with that. I don't know if he would have knocked Tua out, but I think he would have had enough to beat David. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Especially with him going right back in his prime, he used to go right back to the defense off the offense. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think his speed would have played the difference against Tua, but Tua could have cracked Mike though for sure.
definitely could have. Coffee, I liked the interview. It was a good job. Uh, some things that were said, I didn't agree with. But the reality is, and this is my perspective. In the Normans' mind, Boots is their op. Boots is their Earl Spence to Terence Crawford. Every interview, it's pertaining to Boots, and he doesn't care. I'm being dead serious. It's like they made a comment like, "How you going to announce you moving up the division a couple days before your biggest rivals fight?" Is because number one, he doesn't think you're his biggest rival. Two, you fighting wasn't even on his radar.
You don't care.
He doesn't care.
That's hilarious. Go 787 says I think Tua would have stopped Mike in the last rounds. Damn.
Yo, you won't appreciate how good Tua is till you see. Okay, that's the request that I got. I'm requesting something from Mazuma Nation, Mazuma
Okay.
TV. You got to slide with me to the Atlantic City Hall of Fame this year.
When is it?
It's like last week of September. It's like September 24th, 25th, something like that.
Let me look that up. That's definitely doable though. I
I
actually
need y'all to
went
put pressure on me.
that's how I met Tito Trinidad.
Yeah. Last year, I drove just specifically. I wanted to get Samson because it was like right as the David Morrell, David Benavidez talks was buzzing.
Mm. It says September 26th to the 28th. So it's gonna be for 3 days. Who they inducting?
The list this year is kind of cool, but a lot of people show up.
Yeah, it says Teddy Man, Charles Brewer, Burt Cooper, Rocky Lockridge, Julian Jackson. Okay, I
It's an
fuck with
AC, Ghost.
I fuck with Julian Jackson, Curtis Parker, Junior Jones, Charles Murray, Steve Collins. I'm familiar with Steve Collins. Yeah, that list ain't all that, but
No,
yeah, I mean,
James Tony comes. Hands of
I remember I
Stone
was walking down
comes.
the boardwalk. I'm walking down the boardwalk. I run into Panama Lewis.
Oh shit, yeah.
I'm like, what you doing here? That's what I was trying to figure out. But yeah, he was in the building though. Wait, what did I get the name wrong? Hold on, I think I got the name wrong. No, I wasn't hold on, let me take that name back. I don't think that was his name. Not Panama Lewis. Who was the dude? No, it was Panama Lewis, my fault. Yep, we ran right into him. We was at the boardwalk eating pizza. We was waiting for Tito to come out the hotel. We like, let's get something to eat real quick, bro. He's sitting right there. My dad was like, yo, that's Panama Lewis. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, man, look. I think he died like a year after that too.
Damn.
Crazy part.
Yo, fucking Tito resume. Crazy, yo.
Tito Trent, bro. That's what I try to tell people all the
Even
time.
though I thought Oscar beat him, but he
Not
washed
all right,
Purnell,
all right. I
he
fucked up. I
washed
fucked up.
Vargas. Like he just, oh man,
I
yo.
fucked up. My
That's a
fault.
great win.
My fault. Not Panama Lewis, Louis Resto. My fault. My apologies for that. But yeah, we met him. No, he actually still alive. Okay, cool. But yeah, we ran into him at the boardwalk. Shout out to Louis Resto. But yeah, Tito Trinidad resume is insane, bro. Like, and when he won his first world title when he was like 20 against like Maurice Blocker. Had a crazy ass title reign at welterweight. I don't know how long he was champion for, but I think the only one that had a longer title reign at him at welterweight was like Henry Armstrong. Then after that, went up to 54. He beat David Reed, who was a top dude in
Yeah,
Philadelphia in the amateurs, gold medalist. Wait, gold medalist?
cool medal.
Yeah, so he did his thing. Dude, I think he ruined his career to be honest with you. That's what Tito did to a lot of dudes, bro. They was a lot of them wasn't ever the same after they fought him, especially Fernando Vargas. Then when he went up to 60, man, that was one of the worst. You ever see him versus William Jobby, bro?
No.
That had to be one of the worst ass whoopings you ever see, bro. Like that was just like they because a lot of people was questioning if Tito was gonna be able to carry his power to 60. You know what I mean? And yeah, bro. He beat the dog shit. And a lot of people was mad. Oh yeah, my pop in the building. That was Louis Resto. Cool. Um, a lot of
Stuff up
people
to
was mad
Don
at William
Rosen.
Jobby for that Roberto Duran shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he beat Roberto Duran when he was like 46 years old, bro. And he was like celebrating like he just won the Super Bowl or some shit. Like he beat a prime Roberto Duran. So he had a target on his back. And when Tito got him, crazy. He beat the shit out of Jobby. Let me see. My pop said I'm not allowed on his page more than twice a week. Who said that? Don't be trying to play me like I'm Hollywood or something, Pop. You see me every day. This nigga said Holly Burton. That's what everybody say I look like now. Ain't that some shit, Jamal?
Yo.
Every light
I
skinned
can't
nigga that play
unsee it
ball.
now, yo. Oh
Every light skinned
shit.
nigga that play ball, bro, I look like.
Oh
They said
shit.
Jason
You do
Tatum.
like
Now I look
every
like
light skinned nigga in the league now. Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you.
bro, the
You
nigga
like
said Holly Burton and Jason
you
Tatum,
like
bro.
you like Jason Tate. Every light skinned nigga that just got to the league. That's you,
Yo, that shit is insane. Go over my last comment quick. All right, let me see what Ghost talking about. My fault, Ghost. Go over Roy Jones' resume is insane. Also, and James Toney. James Toney resume was absolutely insane. You know, it was crazy. Roy Jones had a reputation for like having a bad resume. People saying that he didn't that he fought cab drivers and shit like that. Roy was just talking about that on that Andre Ward interview that just put out, but it was like in his gym. I
The
was
crazy
like,
thing
bro,
is
he had a
you gotta be you gotta be built up. Like it's how good your opponents are built up. I'm gonna say
right,
that. And people's expectations of you. Because if you go and you look at some dudes get credit for uh Terence Crawford stops Amir Khan, right?
right.
He got zero credit for that. And then I'm trying to think. Who stopped Amir Khan before that? Danny Garcia stops Amir Khan, a whole bunch of credit. And not saying that he stopped them both in the same in within the same time frame. I'm just saying whatever your expectations are, people will hold you to that. If you have lofty expectations, they expect you to not only fight killers but destroy them.
Okay, okay. We got a $5 super chat from Twin Lumar. Twin Lumar been snapping in the super chat lately, man. He said, "Hey, YSN, what's up with that Robert Garcia cap ass?" That's crazy. Talking about Boost X for two tune-up fights before fighting Virgil.
Yeah, shouts out my man Fernando did that interview. Yeah, that I don't know where he heard that from, but that was a bad source. That's not.
Now Virgil Pop echoed the same shit on Twitter
Yeah,
too. I
and
seen that.
I asked him because when he said that, I said if nobody reached out to you, and it was a legitimate question. If nobody reached out to you, who told you that he wanted two tune-ups?
Yeah, I don't know. We got a $10 super chat. I mean, a $10 cash app from Jibo Flowers. He said, "Good build with YSM. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate you contributing to the channel, of course."
I banned you. The Don said I banned him. Oh, stop that, man.
What?
Yeah, man. The Don said I banned him, man.
Everybody banned my pop. I banned him. Jamil banned him. Wow.
Yeah. But
Wow, my pop been ducking the gym. That shit been like 105 in there.
yeah.
He was like, nah, he don't even hit nobody up. The gym just be closed. They be texting me like, yo, what's up with the gym? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Man, that shit closed. I said, well, my pop
Yo,
ain't.
it's hot as shit right now, bro.
Yo, if it's like 100 outside, bro, it's at least like 106 in my gym, bro.
It
Whatever
don't
it
even
is, like
feel
add 5 degrees to it. Like
it don't
shit.
it don't feel real. But as far as like my man Twin, it's like it's gonna be a whole bunch of gamesmanship. Like boxing is a bunch of he said, she said. Like that to me, that fight has no chance of happening next. Like motherfuckers gotta understand like timelines, time frames, and actually promoting the fight. The fight ain't ready yet. We gonna have Boots and Virgil for no world title.
Yeah,
That don't even seem right, yo.
I don't know. I feel like thus far, and I know like Virgil Ortiz done had his health issues and shit like that. You know what I mean? I know a little bit about that myself. But it's like, bro, I don't know. Like, so like, what's up with the whole process of Virgil getting a world title though? I feel like it's
I
been
don't know
so
what the fuck is
long.
going on, yo.
Like
I
that,
think if
his career has been like very underwhelming, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like thus far, bro, like ain't no reason why you couldn't have fought for a world title at this point. Like, what's really holding you back? 'Cause I ain't gonna
yo,
lie, I think he'll step on Fundora, bro. Like stylistically, I think that'd be a bad job for Fundora.
I don't know. I that's one of them Jones I gotta see. But you know the crazy thing about 147? Like the dudes that used to be at 147? And I'm gonna name them. So a lot of people don't remember. Jesus Ramos,
Mm-hmm.
Vito Melnicki,
Yep.
Xander Zayas,
Xander came from 40. Yeah, but he was there too,
Conor
bro.
Ben, Virgil Ortiz,
He came from 40.
Jerron Ennis, Rashidi Ellis, Amanda Stanionis, Cody Crowley, the new crop of 147s. Only two of them have won a world title.
Mm,
Only only two of them have fought for a world title.
that's
That's crazy.
interesting.
That's crazy.
Why you think that is? You think it's just hard to get to that, final destination where you fighting for a world title, or it's just, they just haven't gotten in the right position?
I think part of it is Earl Spence and Terence Crawford stalled the division so long that a lot of kids outgrew the division and basically had to start over.
Damn, that's true.
I think
That's
that
very
that
true.
part too, of course, it's hard. Like it's only about the opportunities because 26 and 30 and 35, only like 4 and 5 pounds apart. Dudes move up and down. But seven,
Yeah, that's
a
it's a
little
little
different,
different.
yo.
It's a
A little
lot
different.
different, especially when you gotta put them bigger gloves on and them guys a lot bigger and they taking better punches. Yeah, that's a different ball game. Let me see. Xander was at 140 for like 2 fights. I think he was there longer than that. Let me see. 147 one. I think the boy girl he about to fight for the title. Yeah, Xander fighting. Yeah, that's his next
Yeah,
fight. He's fighting
he's
for the
about
title.
to fight for the world title. But what I'm saying is a lot of them dudes have yet to fight for a world title.
That's a crazy stat. I never even thought of that shit for real.
Connor Ben, Jesus, like these are all guys that were in that new wave.
And Conor probably not gonna fight for a world title till like 2026. So they talking about he about to run it back with Eubank. And he probably not even gonna be able to make 47 after sitting holding that weight so long at
But
60.
Bert, like, I don't understand what yo, Oscar De La Hoya, Virgil, and Ryan's his biggest stars. Have yet to fight for a real world title. Ryan
Yeah,
just fought for the fucking WBA regular.
lost.
Virgil's fought for an interim. Like, bro, I don't know what's their philosophy over there.
I think that, and it's crazy because Oscar, he didn't give a fuck to take chances in his career. You know what I mean? He went to the smoke. Didn't matter who it was, whatever weight class. He even ended his career fighting a prime Pacquiao. So that was just who he was. But like, I feel like as a promoter, he's very, very hesitant, bro. Like very hesitant. Like
It's
he,
different when you putting that bread up, though.
yeah, yep. When you the one making the money to make the big fights, and when you spending the money to make the big fights, that's two totally different mindsets, I guess.
Facts. If I had to guess, Boots and Virgil doesn't happen until 2026. Late 20, I think like late 2026, because he was just ordered to fight Boyachuk. He's coming off of a hand injury. And because he got the interim, he's the mandatory to Sebastian Fundora. Then you look at Boots. Boots got the WBA super. Terence
Yes.
Crawford is fighting at 168. The logical move is for Boots to go WBA route. Go grab that belt.
That's what I was
Virgil,
saying. Yeah.
Virgil fight Fundora, and then now you got your unification.
Think the WBA gonna strip him since he going up to 68 to Rumble or no?
I think he'll vacate the belt.
Oh, vacate. Smoochie Petty, she said the philosophy is PEDs. That's crazy. That was a shot at Ryan.
Yeah.
Slime
But
said
no,
Boots versus Xander. Xander not gonna look in Boots' fucking direction. Stop it.
that fight would do good in New York.
What, Boots and Xander? I wouldn't even want to be in that crowd. After what Boots do to Xander, my pop got a story about when he was at the Tito and Bernard fight and how the Ricans and the black people was like warring after the fight. Like all the Puerto Ricans were so mad that they started raging and all that, and they was rumbling. And my dad had
Yeah.
to hurry up. Yeah, my dad had to hurry up I'm gonna bring him on the channel to talk about that shit. But my dad was at that fight, and he was saying how like people was coming out the Puerto Ricans was coming out the projects with like baseball bats and stuff, and they was all rumbling in the middle of the street. Like when Tito lost, the Puerto Ricans lost their mind, bro. And he
That's
said,
insane, yo.
yeah, my dad said that like he knew Tito was going to lose, like that shit was getting dark, so he was walking out, and as he was walking out, right when he was about to get to the door, that's when B Hop dropped Tito. So when he dropped Tito, obviously they stopped it a little bit after that, and he said that, bro, when they got the fuck out that door and all that shit, bro, it was chaos, bro. Like so, and I know Xander not backed by Puerto Rico as heavy as Tito was. Tito was just a different fucking like animal. Like he had Puerto Rico on lock. But I can see a lot of Puerto Ricans being really upset after what Boots do to him. I don't even want to see that for real. That's a bad style for Xander. Twin Lumar with the $2 super chat. He said, "What y'all think about Abdullah and Sam Noakes? Have you watched Sam Noakes yet?"
I haven't got a chance to study Sam Nuke, so I have no idea.
I watched a few of his fights. You know what I'm saying? I started with the highlights first just to get an idea of who he was as a fighter. I was all right. Let me see his conditioning. Let me see, and he heavy handed. He's strong. But I feel like he's limited in terms of skill set, and he doesn't have the attributes that Abdullah Mason has in terms of like head speed. And I think what's really going to help Abdullah as long as he uses it is his range. I think Sam Noakes, he's really effective in close range, and once he gets in close range, he let his hands go. He rips a lot of hooks, and his hands are really heavy. So when you get hit with some clean shots and close range like that, you gonna break up pretty easily based off of what I've seen like from his opponents and stuff like that. So it seemed like his bread and butter is a close range. Like I said, good punching power, heavy hands. Um, Abdullah got to keep him at the end of his punches, pretty much. You know what I mean? You keep him at the end of your jab. You know what I mean? When he try to close the gap, you feel what I mean? You take that small step back, run him into shots. I think he could break Sam Noakes up. And on top of that, Sam Noakes, he a little bit, his defense ain't the best neither. So I think that Abdullah can find a lot of, with his precision, with his hand speed and his precision alone, he should be able to make Sam Noakes pay for a lot of like that, when he's being aggressive and, coming forward. I think he can make him pay for a lot of that. You know what I mean? Trying to step into Abdullah's, perimeter. I think he could run into a lot of shots. Abdullah Mason is definitely intelligent enough to do so. I think he's disciplined enough to do so. And he's shown to be durable as well. I've seen him get hit with some shots and get up like nothing happened. So I think he got the mindset. I think he got the abilities. I think he got the skill set to defeat Sam Noakes and become the new WBO lightweight champion of the world. For sure.
I'm curious to see where they had that fight at. Oh shit, bro, my phone about to die. Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
Get out of here.
Shout out to YSM in the building.
Uh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who the hell is Sam Noakes? Sam Noakes happens to be the number one contender for the WBO at 135 pounds right now. And Abdullah Mason is the number two guy, as far as I'm concerned, in the WBO. So the number one must face the number two since the title is vacant, since Keyshawn Davis don't know how to make weight. So that's who Sam Noakes is. So I suggest that you look at Sam Noakes, you study Sam Noakes, because that's going to be the new world title fight that's going to be occurring in the lightweight division. Who he fought? It's actually a good question. I'm not too familiar with his resume. I've just seen fights, on the internet that that are available for us to watch, and I was able to assess his style from watching those videos online. Now, in terms of quality opponents, I can't really recall anybody notable that he's actually beat. But regardless, he's done enough to become the number one guy in the WBO. So, he can't be that bad. You feel what I mean? So, just looking over like his resume and stuff like that. I mean, he done took some O's. He beat a 10-0. He beat a 13-0. And he's won just about every title at a British level. So, it looks like he's doing really well at the, I think they call that the domestic level. So, it's only right that he fight for a world title. You know what I mean? If you're from the UK, like if you're from the US and you win in the NABF, if you win in the state title, you win in the North American title, it's only a matter of time before you fight for a world title, right? So based off of what I'm saying, look, he got the British Boxing Board of Control, British lightweight title, Commonwealth Boxing Council lightweight title, the WBO International lightweight title. Give that man an opportunity for his world title. He's doing what he needs to do, and he's getting stoppages in the process. He's stopping dudes in the third round. He's stopping dudes in the eighth round. Uh, he getting quick stoppages. He drowning motherfuckers in the ninth round and 10 round bouts. So based off of what I'm seeing, these results right here, it seems like he carries his power throughout the entire course of the fight. So this is somebody who's dangerous, yo. If you could stop a motherfucker in the first round and then stop a motherfucker in the 12th round, you a dangerous dude because not everybody has the energy necessary to, maintain that finishing ability, you know what I mean, that stamina to be able to, put your punches together in later rounds and really get dudes up out of there. So there's some people who by the time they get to the 12th round, they on cruise control. You know what I mean? They just trying to make it to the end of the fight. They ain't taking no unnecessary risks. They not trying to get clipped. Sam Noakes, based off of what I'm seeing and who he's been facing, he coming to hurt you. So this is a good fight. This is definitely a good fight. It's a winnable fight. It's a good challenger, but it's a winnable fight. Who lost to Dennis Berincek and Luke Campbell? You can't be talking about Sam Noakes because Sam Noakes is undefeated, brother. I don't know who lost to Berincek and Luke Campbell, but Sam Noakes wasn't one of them. He's 17-0 with 15 knockouts, brother. Who we speaking about? Ron Mendy. Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm not familiar with dude. Yeah, I'm not familiar with dude. But if he got a win over if he took Luke Campbell, you know what I mean, and went 12 rounds with Dennis Berincek, and Sam Noakes beat him, he must be the good. Sam Noakes definitely know how to rumble. He says mean uppercut Mason KO. I think Mason got the speed advantage. I think he's the more intelligent fighter. I think he's the more dangerous guy, to be honest with you. I think he's the more precise puncher. Sam knows gonna have some issues. I hope. And this ain't me making no assumptions. I don't get into that. I don't make crazy accusations, but historically, the UK, they drug test is set up a little bit different than the US. So I hope that they requested some type of 365 testing, bro. I don't understand why that's like once for you to be look, I'm gonna just say this. For you to be ranked in any sanctioning body, whether it's the WBO, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, fuck it, the Ring Magazine. You need to be enrolled in VADA testing. You need to be enrolled. They don't even got to be VADA. USADA, WADA, fucking whatever. You need to be enrolled in random blood and urine testing. 365 random blood and urine testing. You feel what I mean? Because that motherfucker Sam Noakes looks strong than a motherfucker, right? So you want to have that reassurance that this motherfucker ain't on something. You know what I mean? So if Sam Noakes and Abdullah Mason is taking place on the Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford undercard, I really hope that Turkey Al Sheik putting those funds up to make sure that these niggas is testing clean or just testing overall. Because look, y'all tested Ryan Garcia the whole lead up to the Rolly Romero fight. Rolly Romero confirmed it right here on Mazuma TV. They doing drug testing. You feel what I'm saying? I hope they do the same thing. I don't think that you should be getting the paydays that you're getting from Turkey Al Sheik if you're not taking drug tests. That's just my opinion. That needs to be done. If you want to be making the big bucks, motherfucker, you need to be clean. And if you test positive while getting paid the big bucks, then your purse should 100% of your purse should be withdrawn, and you need to be suspended for 2 years. Let me say that 2-year ban. forfeit 100% of your purse. Oh man, but we gotta make money. All right, yeah, make money by playing by the fucking rules. Fuck out of here. Give a fuck if you got bills. Figure it out, nigga. You got money we paying for PEDs. Pay your bills, guys. Fuck wrong with you? Go get on that Uber, fuck nigga. Me and my shorty on a walk right now. Why we just seen a bearded dragon? A bearded dragon. Them motherfuckers be out in the wild. Why I felt like them motherfuckers was always domesticated. Where are you seeing bearded dragons at? Where they? I ain't know them motherfuckers just be roaming around like that. What's going on? Where them motherfucking bearded dragons be? I always see motherfuckers selling bearded dragons. Where they be at that they just be in the wild? I never heard of that shit being in the wild. Karma definitely the type to run from a bearded dragon though. That's crazy. Talking about did y'all run? No, that's how Arizona is. It's the desert. That's where them motherfucking bearded dragons be at. Oh, I don't know that much about animals. They said them niggas live in Australia, so how this nigga seeing this shit in Arizona? Did somebody let a motherfucking bearded dragon go? Did somebody let go a bearded dragon in Arizona and J Cash walked into him? They said they from Arizona. Why they in Australia? Oh, okay, so they said they are found throughout much of Australia and inhabit environments such as desert and shrub lands. What is going on? They said bearded dragons are not native to Arizona. What the fuck they got going on over there? There's somebody releasing bearded dragons into the wild in Arizona. I ain't fucking with that, cuz. Y'all motherfuckers be buying pets and then y'all don't want them no more. Y'all be letting them go. It's that deadbeat shit. Mark was one of those dudes that was gonna fight the gorilla. I'd have beat. Listen, that gorilla ain't want no problem with me, cuz I swear to God. I swear to God, he'd have felt a punch from me and he was like, yo, I gotta deal with 100 of these. Swear to God. All that beating that chest shit, that shit don't phase nobody. Put you in a motherfucking standing guillotine, nigga. Take that. Pause. No diddy. Dude probably seen an iguana. He seen something. He seen something. This nigga J Cash is zoologist. He know what he saw. You know what I mean? Yeah. You better stay away from me. That gorilla. If it's 100 of me, that gorilla getting packed up by the first line. The first line of Mazuma's TVs, niggas would have been done for. You know what I mean? Probably somebody bringing them over. Facts. You know, like in Puerto Rico, we known for having the coquí. The coquí's a frog. And I didn't know that somebody had actually, and they say that the reason why coquís are so are like such a huge symbol in Puerto Rico is because they can't really live anywhere outside of Puerto Rico. And I think that some scientists have attempted to put them in different, places, and they were actually able to survive in Hawaii. And from what I heard, Hawaii, they weren't really fond of the noises that they make. Puerto Ricans find them, the coquis noise to actually be soothing. I guess you could say therapeutic, but them Hawaiians wasn't with it, so I think they ended up like spraying them. You know what I mean, and getting rid of them. But Puerto Rico, yeah, they brought them over to Hawaii and was like, fuck that, we don't want them no more. But let's get one more question before we get up out of here, man. What we talking about before we go? Shout out to YSM for coming through and showing love. You know what I mean? He just be coming through. He say what's on his mind. You know what I mean? Give great conversation as always. So yeah. So what we talking about before we get up out of here? What's the last what didn't we talk about today? What didn't we talk about today? G-Bo, what up, brother? How you doing? Smoochie said, I'm over here talking to why some she talking about you don't even say what up to me. You don't even say what up. Now, let me find out you got main character syndrome. Smoochie, you better humble yourself. You got rent. You better relax. What you think about Turkey's biased ass tweet? Let's actually bring that up before we get up out of here. Let's actually bring that up because I did see that. And yeah, I should have definitely had, spoke on that, but oh no, thank God I'm not sharing the screen on Twitter. Jesus Christ. Be some wild shit going on in the Twitter world. Um, this dude Turkey, he don't give a fuck. I guess when you got money, you can get away with certain shit, right? He says, I will be very, very upset if Berlanga Zapata knock out Shiraz Chakor. Chakor. We have big plans. We have big plans for Shiraz in Chakor, and this result would be a complete disaster. Those are Turkey Al Sheikh's words, not mine. Those are Turkey Al Sheikh's words and not mine, ladies and gentlemen. I will be very upset if Berlanga in Zapata knock out Shiraz in Chakor. We have big plans for Shiraz in Chakor. And these results would be a complete disaster. That's his words, not mine. So Turkey Al Sheikh basically telling you, motherfucker, Shiraz and Shakur better win because I got some plays set up for them. And if they fumble this bag, I'm going to be hot. That's the hood version of what Turkey Al Sheikh just said. He pretty much like, yo, Shiraz, Shakur, I got a motherfucking bag set up for y'all. Shiraz, I'm trying to line you with Canelo. Shakur, I'm trying to line you up with Tank. Don't fuck up these plans, man. Don't go ahead and try to lose this fight, cause you know what I mean? That should have really pissed me off. That should have really cooked me. On God. On my mama, nigga. That's what Shakur said. I mean, that's what Turkey said, not me. I heard the niggas on my mama. I heard that nigga say that. On my mother, on my mama. Swear to God, he said that. Swear. I swear on God. How he gonna get him Tank? Well, I heard Turkey talk about working with Gervonta Davis. And Gervonta Davis said in a tweet recently that if Turkey is willing to work with Al Heyman, then Tank won't have a problem with working with Turkey. He's that loyal to Al Heyman as he should be. Let's not get it wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Tank should definitely be loyal with Al Heyman. I mean, Tank should definitely be loyal with Al Heyman, right? But if Turkey gets that consent, or at least gets Al Heyman's attention where they could do business together, what could Tank really say? Seems like Tank was optimistic about it based off of some comments I've seen. Um, so maybe, if Shakur defeats William Cepeda, he'll reach out to Al Heyman. You know what I mean? Get his blessing to make a fight with Gervonta Davis, son. It's a go. I don't really want to talk about that too much because, Gervonta ain't really been, you know what I mean? I've been heavily critical of Gervonta Davis. I ain't really been feeling how he been moving. You know what I mean? It might be far-fetched to be honest with you, but yeah, it's possible. So that may be a way that Turkey gets Tank to the table. And let's not act like Turkey wasn't at that Upton boxing gym trying to get Tank attention. You know what I mean? Giving away equipment with the other company. I think it was Box Raw or something like that. But Turkey says, I will be very upset if Berlanga Cepeda knock out Shiraz and Shakur. We got big plans for Shiraz and Shakur, and this would be a complete disaster. This is Turkey's problem, and I think he should have learned his lesson by now. But Turkey needs to stop. He needs to start taking shit one fight at a time. That underestimating shit that he be doing, where it's like, all right, this guy's supposed to beat this guy, and then after this guy beats this guy, then he'll face this guy at the end for a big fight. Turkey, you gotta stop making these motherfuckers feel like they got these fights in the bag. Boxing is so unpredictable that an underdog is bound to win on any given night. You tried that shit with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, right? You assumed that Deontay Wilder was going to be Joseph Parker and AJ was just going to be Otto Wilder and they was going to fight each other at the end. No, only one person came out victorious in that equation. AJ smoked Otto Wilder. Deontay Wilder got smoked by Joseph Parker. So you fucked up your money in that situation. You could have made the fight happen off of the rip if y'all got, AJ and Deontay Wilder's consent. You could have just made that fight off of the rip. But you want to build shit, so you fucked yourself over. So now, the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. You looking to make that fight happen. You looking to make that fight happen. Oh, well, before we make that fight happen, let's get these guys some tune-ups. Because they both coming off of a year layoff. Let's get these guys some tune-ups. So you give Ryan Rolly Romero, who I told everybody was going to beat Ryan Garcia. And I told you guys that Ryan Garcia is overrated. And it'll only take a small defensive adjustment on Rolly's part to beat Ryan Garcia. We seen what happened. Devin Haney, he outboxes Jose Ramirez. Only one person came out successful in that equation. You never know what'll happen with this shit. You think shit gonna go one way and it go completely south. You think it's shit gonna go north, it goes south. When you think that shit goes south, that shit go north. You don't know. Like, you can make all the predictions in the world, but you never really know. You think you know so much about boxing, and most of the time I get predictions right. Don't get it fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, most of the time the knowledge go through, but there's been a lot of situations also where I thought shit was gonna go one way and it didn't go that way. You couldn't tell me that Ryan and Rolly was gonna go to the scorecards. You couldn't tell me Cotto and Canelo was going to the scorecards, but they did, right? Shit unpredictable like that. You couldn't tell me that Earl was gonna hit the canvas against Bud. He did multiple times. I couldn't even fucking imagine Earl hitting the canvas. He did. You feel what I'm saying? So, Turkey really need to learn how to, take shit one step at a time. And if you're gonna be doing tune-ups, don't lead the people on to believe that this is going these guys are gonna win for sure, and then this fight gonna come up. No, that's not how. You gotta respect the game, bro. Let that shit play out. And if that shit play out how you wanted it to, then you announce it after the fact. You know what I mean? But I think, and I think it's really disrespectful to the B side guys. Rolly felt really disrespected after that commercial where they put the nigga on a pizza like he was some type of bum. You know what I mean? Completely disrespecting him. And they wanted him to post that. He was like, fuck no, I ain't posting that. Like, y'all niggas ain't putting no respect on my name. Why the fuck would I post that? I got me on a pizza box, and these niggas is like supposed to be like the main attraction. Whole time I'm coming to take this shit over. And that's exactly what he did. So Turkey got some learning to do, bro. I don't know if it's arrogance, I don't know if it's inexperience, could be both. But one thing we can't be doing is underestimating these fighters, especially at a high level, bro. Y'all done made this nigga Rolly a 3 division world champion because y'all fuck niggas uh like overlooking people. So it is what it is. That's my whole take on the situation, man. I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love. Y'all can see that shit in my eyes. I'm exhausted. My time is up. But of course, we'll be back on live tomorrow night, man. I'm about to go lay down with my son. You feel what I mean? And I'll get with y'all tomorrow. You feel what I mean? Shout out to everybody that contributed to the Cash App, everybody that contributed to the Super Chats. You feel what I mean? Shout out to everybody that participated in the chat throughout the entire course of this live. You feel what I mean? If y'all go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. Until then, this is Mazuma TV. Y'all have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.